So we're supposed to start from text 30.
39, Prabhuji.
39, okay, sure. Yeah. Okay, so we'll start from Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, 8th chapter, text number 39 onwards. Om Jnanatimidandasya Jnananjana Chalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. So starting text 39. Neyam shobhishate tatra yathedanim gadadharam tvatpader ankita bhati swalakshana vilakshitae. O Gadadhar Krishna, our kingdom is now being marked by the impression of your feet, and therefore it appears beautiful. But when you leave, it will no longer be so. So, especially Krishna's lotus feet has many beautiful marks, very auspicious marks of the elephant goad, which is used for controlling the elephant, thunderbolt, lotus, umbrella, and disc, fish. These are some of the, or even the water pot, kalash, these are some of the symbols which decorate Krishna's lotus feet. So, generally, you'll see ordinary people on their hands and on their feet, they have lines. Sometimes these lines, maybe little less clumsy. Sometimes the lines may be even, looking very clumsy. So, according to Samudrika Shastra, there's a scripture called Samudrika Shastra. Mudrika. Mudrika means, signs, and sa means along with. So Samudrika Shastra means the scripture which deal with the signs of symptoms. So lines, different lines on the hand or on the forehead or on the feet, these are indication of something. In fact, I remember I was reading one journal, especially on astrology. So this was actually a real incident which was documented. It was around maybe a little more than 100 years ago. So there was one astrologer, he was traveling, palmist astrologer, he was traveling in India, going from one city to another city in a train. So, because Jyotish, people in India especially, they're fond of astrology. So the astrologer was sitting in the train. So people, in the general talk, they understood, oh, he's an astrologer. So people started showing their palms to them. So of course he was astrologer, but he was very, sensitive. Not that he would give some bad news to anyone. So as he saw the first person's hand in the train, he saw, oh, this person is supposed to die today. And then, somebody else showed the hand, and see, he's also going to die today. So in this way, he developed some curiosity that, oh, these people are going to die today. Then he went one by one checking the hands of people in that compartment, in the entire train compartment in which he was traveling. And he found almost everyone in that compartment had the lines on the hand which was indicating that they're going to die today. Except, just one person he found, which was actually indicating that he will not die today. He had long life to live. So he asked that person also, and that person also traveling long distance, going for, some long journeys. So they got down on the station, next station when it came, they got down. And, this astrologer, he engaged the person in talking and kept him so engaged, and they, just took him outside of the railway station. And in the meantime, when they came back, the train was gone. So this person was actually cursing the astrologer, what nonsense you did, because of you, I missed the train. The astrologer told him, listen, I couldn't have tried this with anyone else. I just tried with you. But I saw that everyone in that compartment which we were sitting is going to die today. So I'm having strong intuition that it's going to be an accident today. Train is going to meet an accident and all people in the compartment will die. But because you had long life, I tried to save you. And actually, just a couple of hours ahead, the train met an accident. And a lot of people died in that accident. So some is actually a very wonderful science in expert. An expert astrologer can actually, predict simply by seeing the symbols on the hands and feet, or even on the forehead. There are some astrologers, they can simply look at the face of the person and read the lines on the forehead and predict what the person will, do, or how long he will live. So these are such wonderful signs, and especially when the Supreme Lord appears, he has these wonderful, symbols on the sole of his feet. So these are the symbols which are mentioned. Prabhupada mentions here that, Krishna's feet are marked with flag, thunderbolt, a gourd, which is used for controlling the elephant, umbrella, lotus, disc, etc. on the bottom of Lord's feet. So these are the auspicious marks which Krishna carries on his feet. And when Krishna walks without any shoes, which he used to walk on Vrindavan, very often he would walk even in Hastinapur. Of course, kings would not generally walk without shoes, but Krishna sometime, would be traversing in Hastinapur also without any shoes. So Kunti Maharani is saying, because the land, this is our kingdom, the land in our kingdom was being marked with the footprints of your lotus feet. Therefore, it was very auspicious. The place which has a mark of Krishna's lotus feet, that place is considered very auspicious. So in one way, the temples, all the temples where Krishna's deity forms are installed, where Krishna is standing in threefold bending form. Standing means his are being marked in those places, wherever Krishna's temple is there. So therefore, Krishna's temple is actually very auspicious as well, an auspicious place. So Kunti Maharani is praying here that, my Lord, since you are leaving today, and our kingdom would be deprived of the lotus feet, touch of your lotus feet, and therefore those auspicious signs which are actually, spread all over our kingdom will no more be visible. Text 40. Ime janapada surdha supakvaushadhi viruddha vanadri nadri udvanto hi edhante tava vikshitaye. All these cities and flourishing in all respects because the herbs and grains are in abundance. Trees are full of fruits. The rivers are flowing, and the hills are full of minerals. The oceans are full of wealth. And this is all due to your glancing over them.
फोन नंबर भी अपने शिपिंग एड्रेस ने फोन नंबर भी हो.
So here in this verse, Kunti Maharani is bringing out a very beautiful siddhanta or principle. Tava vikshitai. Ikshitai. Iksha means eyes, and vikshitai means to be seen by the eyes. So she's saying, my Lord, Tava vikshitai, you are glancing over all the things. Vana, Adri, Nadi, So Vana means forest, Adri means hills, and Nadi means rivers. Udvanta means seas, oceans. Vanadri, Nadi, Udvanto, Edante Tava Vikshite. They all have become, what do you call? Edante. Edante means flourishing. So they all are flourishing. The forests are flourishing, the hills are flourishing, the river, oceans, everything is flourishing because of your glancing over them. And Janapada means cities. Jana means human beings, and Pada means, where there's a lot of accumulation. So Janapada means where a lot of people live together. That's generally cities. Because in villages, people have a lot of lands. They live, each family would have a lot of land. They live away from each other. But of course, they are much more closer, in relationships. Generally, people in city are more distant from each other, even though they may be having next door neighbor for years living together, but they do not know their name also. This is the situation in cities. But Kunti Mani is saying, Ime Janapada, these cities and towns, they are flourishing. Svriddha. Svriddha means, Vriddha means to, flourish. Svriddha, abundance of flourishing. And Supak Vaushadhi. Supakwa means, Pakwa. Pakwa is generally used in the sense of, what do you call it, ripened. Like ripened food. Pakwa fal, means ripened fruit. Supakwa means fully mature or fully ripened. Aushadhi means herbs. And Viruddha is vegetables. So Kunti Mani is saying that forests are filled with herbs and vegetables, and cities are flourishing. The villages, towns, rivers, hills, oceans, rivers, everything is flourishing. How? Tava Vikshita, simply by your glance. This is such a significant lesson Kunti Maharani is teaching through her teachings, that anyone or anything glanced by Krishna becomes, first class. It becomes actually flourishing. In all, aspects, it becomes flourishing. So coming, like, Prabhupada says, if we go in front of the deities, especially, all our ISKCON temples, they have Sunday feast program. So at least on Sundays, if we go to the temple and have, what do you call it, darshan of the Lord, and let Lord also see us. When the Lord is glancing on us, our life becomes of auspiciousness. It becomes full of, all the necessities of life are easily supplied. If a person allows himself or herself to be seen by Krishna, on daily basis, that person's life becomes sublime. So this is actually very crucial. We don't go to temple only to take darshan of the Lord. We also go to temple so that Lord should glance over us. And that's also one of the reasons why, the deities are given also parikrama. In most of the temples in India, they have Utsav Vigraha. There are different kinds of Vigrahas, So there is Utsav Vigraha means the deities, which is, uh, you know, uh, main function is to conduct the festivals. And festival times, Utsav Vigraha actually comes out and goes in the public places to give darshan. So in most of the temple, you'll find they have Utsav Vigraha. Utsav Vigraha means on the day of festivals, they will bring out the deity on a cart or in a beautiful palanquin, and they take it around, and everybody can take darshan of the deities. So that's Utsav Vigraha. Similarly, there are deities, the only job is to accept food or accept worship on daily basis. And some deities, their only job is to mainly accept bathing, because bathing also cannot be done for all the deities. So different kinds of deities are there. But Utsav Vigraha means the deities which actually especially go out on the Utsav or festival days and gives darshan to everyone. And also glances over everyone to fill everyone's life with auspiciousness. So this is actually a very significant lesson that we should be going in front of the deities to be seen by the Supreme Lord. When the Lord glances over us, our life becomes filled with auspiciousness. So text 41. Atha Vishvesha Vishwatman Vishwamurte Swakeshu Me Snahapasham Imam Chindi Dridham Pandushu Vishnishu. O Lord of the universe, soul of the universe, personality of the form of the universe, please therefore sever my tie of affection for my kinsmen, the Pandavas and Rishnis. Of course, Krishna's glancing over anyone or anything makes the things flourish, makes everyone's life auspicious. But what is the thing which actually makes our life inauspicious? The the family life, especially, where there is a lot of attachment to each other, where Krishna is not in the center of one's life. So materialistic family life is actually the source of all inauspiciousness. Especially, you see, families, where people have no sense of Krishna consciousness. They simply live together for the sake of eating, sleeping, sex, and defense. Ahar, Nidra, Bhai, and Mathun. And those activities do not really bring any satisfaction to the soul. It's like Punaha Punascharvita Charvanana, chewing the chew, again and again eating the same thing, same eating, same sleeping, same sex and defense. The person goes on doing over and over again. So there is no sense of real inner satisfaction, because these activities even animals do. That doesn't bring fulfillment of life or fulfillment of inner most desires of the heart. The real fulfillment comes by practicing our devotional service. But because most of the population in this world does not have any sense of Krishna consciousness, therefore their lives are full of inauspiciousness. Inauspiciousness in the sense that they live animalistic life. They live like animals. And because there is no joy of Krishna consciousness, they remain frustrated with each other also. Because every living being has expectation that I should be happy. And they expect that everyone around me should make me happy. But because there is no Krishna consciousness, nobody can really make them happy. No matter, even if you take as a project, you can take as an experimental project. Take it upon yourself that you will try to keep even one person happy for next 1 year. Do whatever the person says, whatever makes that person happy, I'll do it. Just for 1 year try. That the person has absolutely no complaints with you. And be honest. The person is being honest with you and has no complaints with you. Even just try for 1 year. It is impossible thing to do. Even though, sometimes you see in the love affairs of a boy and girl when they get married, even for 1 year to live without any quarrels or angry or dissatisfactory mood, it's impossible. When even husband wife cannot live for prolonged period of happy with each other, what to speak of any other relationships? So the source of inauspiciousness or dissatisfaction is family life devoid of Krishna consciousness. When Krishna consciousness is added, no matter what condition of life a person is living in, that person's life becomes full of auspiciousness. Now, so especially for example, when devotees they live in each other's association, even if as brahmacharis, young boys, especially those ISKCON temples, in some of these ISKCON temples, they have brahmachari ashram. So young boys, just college pass outs or young age, where it is so difficult to remain satisfied. But brahmacharis who come from different family backgrounds, different cultural backgrounds, different educational backgrounds, they live together and live very happily. They don't even engage in sense gratification, like the family people may have opportunity to engage in sense gratification. They don't even engage in sense gratification, but they live very happy life. Why? Because Krishna is in the center of their life. When Krishna is in the center of life, then automatically, the life becomes full of auspiciousness. But when the life is without Krishna consciousness, even the most intimate relationships are very frustrating. So therefore, Kunti Maharani is praying in this verse that let all the inauspiciousness be finished by cutting off the bonds of affection. Sneha pasham imam chindi. She says, Sneha pasham means the bonds of sneha or family affection. Chindi, let it be cut. Pandushu Vrishni. So Kunti Maharani, she was related to both the families. Pandu families, because she was married to Maharaj Pandu, and all the Pandavas, they were her sons. So she was related to Pandava family. And Vrishni, she was related to Vrishnis also, because her brother was Vasudev. She was born actually, in the same family. So she had ties of affection with Pandu's family and Vrishni's family as well. And therefore, she's saying, of course, the relationship between Kunti Maharani and these two families was completely on the spiritual platform. There was no sense of material relationships. because Pandavas and Rishnis, they were staunch devotees of Krishna. Krishna was always in the center of their lives. But she's setting an example that Krishna, you are leaving, and let my affection for Pandavas and Rishnis in the sense of bodily identification be completely cut off at this very moment. Because that family attachment brings a lot of misery and anxiety to people in general. So this is actually a very wonderful lesson Kunti Maharani is giving through this particular, verse. Although somebody may think, that how is it that she's asking the Sneha Pasha or the attachment with the Vaishnavas, because Pandavas are Vaishnavas and Rishnis are also Vaishnavas. Be detached. She's not asking detachment from the Vaishnavas, but she's asking detachment from the bodily concept of life. That they are my sons or Rishnis are my family members. She's asking that sense should be destroyed. We go to text 42. Vai me ananya vishaya matir madhupate sakre ratim udvahtad adha gange vogam udanvati. He says, O Lord of Madhu, as the Ganges river flows to the sea without hindrance, let my attraction be constantly drawn unto you without being diverted to anyone else. So here, Kunti Maharani is actually continuing the same prayer that she was praying in the previous verse. So cutting off the material relationships is not enough. That even Mayavadis or impersonalists do. Even sometimes demoniac people also sever the bonds of family affection. Like, we have examples, many examples in the scriptures. Hiranyakashipu, when he saw his son Prahlad was becoming a devotee of Krishna, he was willing to go to the extent of killing Prahlad. He had no sense of, this is small child only, he's my 5-year-old son. No, killed him. He tried so many different ways and means to kill Prahlad. Similarly, we also hear from the Puranas, Ravana. Ravana was, very powerful asura, very powerful demon. It so happened that his sister, Surpankha, she got married to some of the demons from the lower regions, and she was living with the demon in the lower regions. And Ravana went on the conquest to conquer all the, rulers of different planetary systems. So he went to the lower regions of universe as well. And the husband of Surpankha, he thought, oh, Ravana is my sister's brother, so I don't have to submit to him. So he refused to submit to Ravana. And Ravana was, so demoniac that he wanted to, establish his supremacy, and therefore, without any hesitation, he killed the husband of his own sister. Just because that person refused to submit to him or accept his subordination, he killed him. And Surpankha became widow. And that very moment, Surpankha actually decided that she will make sure that Ravana is also destroyed. So especially when, her nose and ears were cut off because she was attracted to Lord Ramchandra, and Lord Ramchandra, Lakshman actually cut off his nose and ears. That time she made a plot. She made a plot not against Ram and Lakshman, because of course first she went to Khardushan to take revenge from Ram and Lakshman, but when she saw that Khardushan and all the 14,000 demons were killed by Ram, like in a, within a fraction of a moment. Lord Ramchandra actually destroyed all the demons. So she understood, oh, he's very powerful. And that time she made a plot to destroy Ravana. Because Ravana had killed her husband, it was out of great animosity that she wanted to destroy Ravana. And therefore she made up all the stories that, oh, I went to kidnap Sita for your sake, because she's such a beautiful lady. If you really listen to me, you should go and kidnap that lady. It was the counseling came from Surpanka, who didn't have any good intentions for Ravana. She wanted to kill Ravana. So, the the demons, they can also become detached from each other. Ravana had no attachment for sister's husband. Surpanaka had no attachment for Ravana. She wanted to destroy Ravana. But that is not glorious in itself. What is glorious is what Kunti Maharani is praying here. Ratim udvahantad. Let my rati, let my attraction be ever flowing, no, unto your lotus feet. Mati madhu pate sakrit. She says mati means, of course, consciousness, and madhupati is the lord of madhus. And asakrit means continuously. So let my consciousness be continuously fixed on Krishna. First she says, let my attachment to Vishnu and Pandus be finished. And then she says, let my attachment now flow unto you, my Lord. And she gives example. Gange, Ganga is, Mother Holy River Ganga. So Ganga, Gangeva Ogham. So Ogham means to flow. So Mother Ganges is flowing, continuously flowing towards ocean. No matter if you try to stop the flow of a river, any river, especially Ganga is a very huge river, very powerful river. So if you try to tie a dam on the way of Ganga, it cannot stop Ganga. Like small rivers or streams, like here we have, Sacramento River or Mid-American River. So they are small rivers. They have dam, around 80 miles north of here. They have dam where they have controlled the flow of the river. But that you cannot do with Ganga. The Ganges water will break through all the dam and everything. She's such a powerful, Mother Ganga is so powerful. So nobody can check the flow of Ganga towards the sea. Nobody. Nobody means, I say, ordinary living entities, ordinary human beings, they cannot stop it. Only great sages, they have power to stop the flow of Ganga. Like Janu Rishi, he drank entire water of Ganga. And he stopped the flow of Ganga in that way. But then Bhagirathi Maharaj prayed to him and he let it go. So she's saying, just like the Ganges flow to ocean is irresistible, let my mind constantly be attracted to your lotus feet. Let my mind constantly flow to you, and nothing should be able to check it. So this is the sum and substance of these verses. I think we will stop here today. Text 43 onwards, we will discuss from next week. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. If anyone has any questions, you may ask.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dhanavad Pranam Jai Srila Prabhupada. Prabhu, I have two questions, Prabhu. So the first question is, Prabhu, you said if we are seen by the deities every day, it brings auspiciousness in our lives. So, but when we don't have a temple, so how to, how to be seen by the deities, Prabhu, every day? Since it is good to be seen by the deities every day.
Well, Madri, you can have temple at home. You can look at the deities at your home.
Mhm.
It's not that the deities only in the temple exist. Most of the devotees, they have the temple in their home as well. So you can look at the beautiful form of the Lord in the home.
So every day, if we are going in front of our deities, means it is considered as we are seen by the deities in the temple, right? Same auspiciousness will be.
Yes, that's right.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. And my next question is: we are saying that so have given so many examples, like the family life. How if we keep Krishna in center in our family lives, how it will be good for ourselves. And but materialistic people, you have given examples how they're in their lives. Materialistic people, they don't keep Krishna in center, so they get frustrated in their lives. But practically, if I see Prabhu, materialistic people who has not kept Krishna in center are more happier than the devotees' families actually. When I observe them, they are so happy in their lives more than the devotee families. Devotee families are always suffering actually, as long as I'm seeing, including my family and other families also. More difficulties in their lives and more suffering in their lives than the materialistic people who have not kept Krishna in center. So how do we understand this situation, Prabhu?
A person who develops true devotion to Krishna, for him there is no suffering. And people who are completely materialistic, apparently for them also, uh, those who are especially very much degraded, and have absolutely no sense of Krishna consciousness, they also appear to be happy. So Bhagavatam says, Yascha mudtamho loke yascha buddhe panamgata. Ta ubhav sukham edete klishati antarino jana. So those people who are actually topmost transcendentalists or pure devotees of the Lord, and those who are actually completely foolish, yascha mudhatamo loke. Mudhatama means those who are in deep, deep ignorance or darkness. That means they have absolutely no sense of what is soul, what is God, and they simply live like animals. Those people, and yascha buddhe paramgata, those who are transcendentalists or those who possess topmost intelligence. The devotees are transcendentalists, they possess topmost intelligence. So these two people live happy. And everyone in between, klishati, they live unhappy life. So sadhakas or practicing devotees, they are going from the stage of mudatamo loke to parambhakti, the being topmost transcendentalist. So the journey makes a person appear to be miserable. But just continue practicing Krishna consciousness, and slowly and gradually, when we actually become true transcendentalists, then there is no more distress or misery exists. True, anyone in between the stage is bound to be miserable.
So, Prabhu, it is very hard to become topmost transcendentalist, Prabhu. So, how long the situation continues like this only, right? It's very hard.
It is hard to become transcendentalist, but it is an impossible situation to be a materialistic. Because in materialistic life, there is no hope. In transcendental life, there is some hope, but in materialistic life, there is no hope. So yes, it takes time. It is little difficult also, or maybe very difficult also, but it is much, much better than materialistic way of life.
Not only much difficult, not sure also whether we can become
The
transcendentalist.
sureness is only because of lack of faith. It's not that there's no surety in Krishna consciousness. No, surety is there. Krishna has given assurance. Mad bhakta yanti mamapi. My devotees do come to me. Krishna is giving assurance. Yad gatva ananivartanti tad dhama param. Once you come to my abode, you will never come back to the material world. So the lack of faith, is something that makes sometimes devotees very miserable. So there's no question of there's no guarantee of success. Guarantee is there. Krishna has given guarantee of success. It's only the lack of faith makes a person feel that I have no success.
Guarantee means we don't know how many births it takes, right? So
Doesn't matter.
we are suffering, we will have
What difference does it really make? How many births it takes. If you don't take to Krishna consciousness, you will continue only birth and death. There's no question of stopping the birth and death. But if you're taking to Krishna consciousness, you have some hope that maybe after 100 births, maybe after 1,000, maybe after 1,000,000 births, Krishna will show me some mercy. And the cycle of birth and death will be stopped.
So just with that hope, we have to, work in Krishna consciousness. Right?
Yes, that's right.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
So I think we'll stop here.